One-time WWE 24/7 champion. One-time TNA Knockouts champion. Ranked number 21 of the top 50 female wrestlers in the PWI Female 50 in 2008. One-time WWE Slammy Award winner for Diva of the Year in 2009. This week on the Fans' Choice episode here of The Legacy of, as chosen by @NailsandNY over on Twitter, we are getting to cover something that I've wanted to cover since the very beginning of this show. Ladies, gentlemen, my non-binary friends, it is I, Josh Robinson, here for Love Wrestling, and this week we're discussing the legacy of Maria Kanellis. Audiences were first introduced to Maria Kanellis in the 2004 WWE Diva Search, which, by the way, I've done a whole episode on, so if you want to get my take on the WWE Diva Search and their legacy of episode, of course, the links will be in the description box below. But that's where we were first introduced to Maria Kanellis. She placed 5th in the contest, but of course she was hired by WWE. She stood out in the contest, of course, in the now infamous, one of the infamous segments in the Diva Search by, of course, being eliminated and giving the middle finger to Carmella in a very dramatic exit from the series, I guess you could say. Maria would go on to make appearances in OVW, the then developmental territory of WWE. Maria was brought onto Raw, of course, as the, I guess, ditzy backstage interviewer, I guess you could kind of call her. She was hosting the WWE Kiss Cam in the latter part of 2004. She would always ask kind of the wrong questions, you know, the standard cliche stuff that we all fell in love with Maria at that stage because she was so fun. She was an entertaining character that was on WWE TV. Now, while Maria was a backstage interviewer and host of various WWE on-screen programs, she didn't begin wrestling and have her first official match until the January 10th episode in 2005 of WWE Raw. She, of course, was defeated in that very first match by Christy Hemme in a lingerie pillow fight. I don't know how many people in the wrestling industry could say that their first ever match was a lingerie pillow fight. Now, again, you know me, I'm not knocking that at all. It was what the time brought for WWE and for women in the WWE. It was just a thing that would happen. There was various other matches that Maria would sporadically appear in over the course of 2005. She'd wrestle the likes of Trish Stratus, wrestling multiple battle royals, including one at Taboo Tuesday in 2005. In the Eddie Guerrero tribute show, the WWE women were in a big battle royal. She was one of the last 3 women who was eliminated by Melina and Trish Stratus. The November 28th episode of Raw, Maria interviewed then Raw General Manager Eric Bischoff and asked him whether or not he was going to be fired. Now, this was a very big story going into 2005 and 2006, of course. There was this big, huge trial of Eric Bischoff that happened, and famously, of course, Maria would give that big, incredibly smart, driven speech. And everyone was kind of like, what is going on here? Great character work from Maria. Again, Maria in the early part of her career was not wrestling every single week. She was still doing the backstage interviewer stuff. She was still kind of the host and just the bubbly, quirky female that was on screen. And a lot of people loved her for that. So she was doing these kind of segments and getting herself over in other ways that doesn't mean having to wrestle every single week. Now, Maria would continue to wrestle throughout 2005 and 2006, having a couple of opportunities at the WWE Women's Championship. Obviously came up short in those instances, but was getting a little bit more time in the ring and learning on the go. That's not, I couldn't imagine that would be an easy thing to do at all. And she was still doing backstage interviewing. She was still involved in different kinds of storylines, but she was definitely in the mix when it came to women who were getting great reactions on television and getting the chance to at least get in there with the likes of Mickie James and Victoria and other women throughout WWE at that point. Now, of course, in 2007, she would famously enter a relationship on screen with one Santino Marella as he was first coming in. Santino would treat her really bad. Everyone wanted to see Maria break up with this guy. it was a pretty standard WWE storyline, but a very fun one. Definitely not a complaint at all. It was really, really fun to watch Maria in this role, and again, she was getting herself in a great position and getting herself over. That didn't mean necessarily having to wrestle every single week. She was definitely wrestling a lot more frequently than in 2004 and 2005, even in 2006. In 2007 into 2008, Maria was wrestling a lot more. This storyline with Santino was just golden all round. You could tell that they were having a lot of fun on screen. Now, Maria would of course make her WrestleMania debut in 2008 at WrestleMania 24. She was in the Playboy Bunny Mania Lumberjill match, and a lot of people, I know what a lot of people are going to say when I say those words and kind of roll their eyes at them. And listen, you're entitled to your opinion, and I understand that. Again, it is just what the time was. Maria was in this role, and Maria played it damn well. Maria played it very damn well, and I always give credit to the Divas time because listen, everything happened to where we got to today. It all happened for a reason. Without all that, we wouldn't be in the situation we are today. And of course I wanted more opportunity and for women to be taken more seriously in this time, but they were still getting the opportunities and running with it. A lot of these segments, a lot of these matches that they were doing throughout 2006 through 2008 was a lot of, especially at WrestleMania, they had a couple of years where they were promoting the Playboy girls, the ones that were getting the Playboy features and everything like that. They were getting them spots, but they were getting reactions. They were getting more people watching at that time for a relative period where a lot of the women just weren't getting a lot of time to really get better at their craft, to get better at wrestling. But that's not what this time was about. Maria was getting in reps in the ring, as you can tell, throughout 2008. Throughout to 2010, she was getting the chance to move over to SmackDown and work in what was, I guess, the inaugural kind of inception of the WWE Divas Championship. Maria said in multiple interviews that she feels that the Divas time and the Divas division and that time period doesn't get enough credit. You can tell with this series, if you're a fan of the series, I certainly agree with that. She believes that we wish we still had a Divas Championship in WWE and just a little bit more, I guess, a little bit more highlighted love for that time and that period of time where the opportunities were a little different and they were a little less, and there wasn't so frequent with, consistent storylines and stuff going into the Divas division. However, I digress, and that could be another episode for another day. Maria was getting the opportunity to go for the WWE Divas Championship, and she was often a woman that was highlighted on SmackDown. I think Maria did the best work in her WWE time in the last couple of years that she was in her original run in WWE. The last couple of years that she was there on SmackDown, working with the likes of Lay Cool, Beth Phoenix, Mickie James, getting the opportunity to do different things and getting the opportunity to wrestle a little bit more as well. Maria has always stated that she doesn't feel that she was, the greatest wrestler that's ever stepped foot in wrestling ever. She's never stated that, but she said she damn tried, and she tried damn hard to make herself the best version of her she could be. And I could tell that Maria wanted to. You could tell Maria was always very willing in the ring, especially in that 2008 to 2010 period of time. Now, in the early part of 2010, Maria was released from WWE. However, this was kind of a blessing in disguise for Maria because she was able to go into the likes of Ring of Honor in 2011 throughout 2015. She would, of course, meet her now husband Mike. They would start working together in various different promotions throughout these kind of early part of 2010s, I guess you could say, and she was able to get better, especially at speaking. This is when Maria got an opportunity to actually hold a microphone and cut the promos that she wanted to cut. And you could tell when she went to New Japan and she was working with the Bullet Club and she was working with Mike, she was getting a lot more opportunity to present more of herself in these roles as opposed to playing a character on television. I think what we need to discuss at the moment, though, and what we need to highlight is her time in TNA, Impact Wrestling, whatever you want to call it. In the very early part of 2016, of course, Maria and Mike would make their debut in TNA, and Maria would go on to be able to really showcase the way that her promo work had gotten so damn good. She was working, of course, with everyone loves Ali and everyone loved that storyline, and it was very reminiscent of Maria's initial kind of introduction to professional wrestling with the kind of quote-unquote ditzy girl that was there. And Maria was just kind of, being a bully. She was being a heel, a great worker. She would win the TNA Knockouts Championship in 2016. Of course, that whole story has been talked about a lot because it gets a lot of love because of how good it was. Gail Kim would be involved in this, and, it's really cool to see. This is when I noticed the most, for me, Maria Kanellis' progression in professional wrestling. Yes, she was still wrestling, and yes, she wrestled throughout different promotions, and of course she wrestled, like I said, in WWE, but this is where she was doing what I still hold as her best on-screen work in all of her wrestling career, is that time in TNA, throughout 2016 to 2017. She done a really good job in that commissioner role that she was given on screen, and she was, of course, the champion, and working with Ali and working with so many different women. It was really cool to see Maria in that role and just blossom. She would just blossom in that time. Of course, she would return to WWE in 2017 with her husband, Mike, and, listen, it was what it was for the time. I wish it could have been a lot more, and I wish it could have been made more important from the get-go. We had that cool introduction of those two at Money in the Bank in 2017. I thought, we're off to the races. This one's going to be a good one. And then it just kind of, stuff happened, and decisions and real life happened, and everything happened the way it happened. And, there's nothing that I can say that would really sum up that time throughout 2017 to 2020. It was what it was. However, I'm going to focus on Maria's time back in WWE and throughout these years. She got to compete in Royal Rumble matches. She got to compete at Evolution. She got to do these different things, become the 24/7 champion. There was a little bit of time where they were both highlighted on Raw in 2019. And, that is what I'll focus on in that time. She did great character work in that time. Mike was doing great things. And it was just a very big missed opportunity in my opinion. But again, she got to work stuff like the Royal Rumble, which wasn't happening when she was there in her original run. Got to work Evolution, and I'm really happy that Maria Kanellis was involved in those kind of situations throughout her time. Of course, they would be released famously in 2020 amongst a number of employees from their WWE contracts, whatever the reasoning, and Maria has very much been vocal about that, which I commend her for, because I think it's so good that someone is actually standing up for themselves. Some people take it as she's complaining and all of this kind of stuff, and I just don't understand that. Just standing up for what she believes is her experience, by the way, so she's allowed to have any opinion she wants. Not only that, standing up for what she believes is right, and just, again, voicing her opinion. If you want to listen, you can listen. If you don't want to listen, you don't have to listen. That's just plain and simple. But I just really good for you, Maria. I'm really happy that you're able to speak openly and honestly about your time back in WWE, and not only that, your opinion on the release of you and other superstars in 2020. Late last year, Maria would make her return to Ring of Honor. She has done so much stuff in Ring of Honor since her return to Ring of Honor, and what she's been able to do to highlight women in Ring of Honor is really damn cool, because we're in this really cool time at the moment where women are doing cool things, and while a lot of fantastic, just wonderful performers are signed to a lot of major promotions, there is still a lot of women that aren't getting the exposure, and Maria championing for that kind of spotlight that Ring of Honor can give not only women that aren't getting a lot of exposure, but also women that we know of, and bringing them all together for this tournament is so cool. I love seeing that. It's really exciting to watch all of the different women be involved in Ring of Honor, and Maria just being at the forefront and just advocating for more time and advocating for more equal opportunity. It's so cool to see, and there's a lot that I could say about that I just simply can't fit into this video, but just know that I think it's so damn awesome what Maria is doing presently, at least at time of recording, for Ring of Honor and for women in the business. It's just really cool to see. Big shout out to @NailsandNY over on Twitter. She is such a just wonderful support of this series here on the Legacy of. She watches every single one, always promoting, always giving it love, always giving a comment. I read the comments and I don't forget those kind of things. And to do this series, this 5-week series, we're in week number 2, throughout the whole month of August. Every single Monday in August, you're getting the chance to perhaps, be the one that's chosen to select who I cover here on the Legacy of. She was a no-brainer. I had to make sure that I could at least repay her for all the love that she gives this series. But for everybody that's giving the love this series, I give you big hugs, big kisses from me, because I just can't thank you enough for all the support. If, of course, you want to follow me on Twitter, it's @JoshRobinson_00 over on Twitter. All my links will be in the description box below. Give Love Wrestling a follow on Twitter @LoveWrestlingCA. All of the links for Love Wrestling will be in the description box below. Leave a comment what you think about Maria Kanellis and her time throughout all of wrestling that she's been doing since 2004, which is absolutely insane that we're in 2021, so 15 years in the business. Not too bad, you know what I'm saying? So leave a comment, of course, on Twitter if you want to talk to me about it. Go ahead as well. Can you please let YouTube know that you like this video by giving this an old thumbs up? Go over to that big red subscribe button, click subscribe here on Love Wrestling, click the bell so you're getting notifications when we're dropping new videos. Until next Monday, friends, I'm signing off. Peace out.
Thank you.